Hey, I'm Chris. This is CK Woodworks. Welcome to my shop. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm going to show you how I built this challenge coin holder. Just put it on your desktop, show off your coins to your friends. A lot of people like to collect these coins. It's a super simple project, easy one-day build. I'm going to show you how I did it. Here we go. So what's really cool about this project is it doesn't take a lot of material at all. I can actually use scraps that I already have for this. And this is all it's going to take right here to do this. So I'm ready to get started. After sitting around my shop for a while, the wood's developed a cup to it. So I got to run it through my joiner to fix that. Now that I got something to work with, I'll go ahead and start running them through my table saw, get them down to size. I tip my miter gauge to 20 degrees for the side pieces. To get both sides out of the same piece of wood, I have to tip back to the other 20 degrees for the second cut. For this next step, I put in a 1/4 inch dado stack and I tilted it over 20 degrees so I can start making the slots. I've got it set to go about halfway through here. The depth isn't really that important. I'm going to start running repeated cuts over and then we'll go from there. Now, without changing the angle of my blade, I pulled my dado stack out and put my regular blade back in. So now I can start cutting the edges off and they should come out to be the exact same angle as the slots I cut. I'm going to have to use some trial and error to get the edges just right, but at least I know they'll be at the right angle. So as long as I start big and work my way down, I should be just fine. Now that this piece is done and I'm happy with it, I straighten out my blade, put a 3/4 inch dado stack in there with the sacrificial fence so I can start routing the dado on the sides. Just be aware, that's a pretty large dado stack. Take proper precautions. I'm not really big on the safety patrol in my videos, but something to be aware of. I'll cut down the dados inside for this to sit into. You can start to see it coming together. I'll have to trim these down later, but that'll be super easy, no sweat. Now I can start gluing this thing up. This glue can be a little tricky. A couple things to watch out for is the sides might start bowing in or out depending on your clamping pressure. With these grooves routed in the top, sometimes this board has a tendency to cup. The other thing is this angle, trying to compensate for that. I took that leftover trapezoid I had after cutting these off, cut them into 2 separate pieces, and now I can use them as kind of clamping blocks. My clamps can grab on at 90 degrees. It helps. So I'm going to get this glued up and we'll move on from there. I let that sit for a good 45 minutes. The glue is dry. Now it's time to just clean everything up. I round over all the edges with my router. You don't have to do this. I think it makes it look a whole lot nicer. You also don't have to do this with the router. You just as easily sand it. Lastly,
I grab my sander, I sand the whole thing down to 220, and then I start applying my finish. One of the reasons I chose walnut for this is because you don't have to do a whole lot to it to finish it. Really just apply a finish and let the natural beauty of the wood show through. This wood's got a whole lot of character all on its own.
So there it is. I'm calling this project done. This was a super easy build, made entirely out of scraps. Got the whole project done in a single day. It was a lot of fun. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Again, if this video made you feel a feeling, please click a button. Let me know. If you didn't feel anything at all and you're some crazy sociopath, click a button. Let me know. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you next time.